Philippines, local authoritative defense think tank Max Defense Philippines recently released a special project report. Formal disclosure: the Philippine Army has launched a comprehensive evaluation of Japan's Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Type 10 main battle tank. If the evaluation is successfully passed, the Philippines will become the first country in the world to field the Type 10 main battle tank overseas. At present, the main armored equipment of the Philippine Army is the Sabra light tank imported from Israel. The model relies on the chassis restructuring of the Spanish Escort D2 mature infantry fighting vehicle. The combat weight is strictly controlled at the 30-ton level. It perfectly meets the requirements of the early low-load infrastructure in the Philippines. In basic performance, the Sabra comes standard with a 105mm low-recoil rifling gun, equipped with an all-electric turret and a dual-axis dynamic stable aiming system. Possessing all-weather hunting and annihilation integrated combat capability, the vehicle body meets the NATO Skendig 4569 4-level ballistic protection standard. It can withstand small-caliber armor-piercing bullets. In terms of informatization, embedded Israeli Torpex global battlefield control endpoint, it can meet the requirements of low-intensity armor confrontation and infantry cover missions. But as the Philippine Army's combat needs escalate, the inherent flaws of the Sabra tank became increasingly apparent. It became the core bottleneck restricting the armored combat power of the Philippine Army. The first is the serious uncertainty of contract performance and logistics. The delivery of subsequent batches of tanks to Israeli military enterprises has been stagnant for a long time. The cross-border replenishment cycle of spare parts is uncontrollable. The later operation and maintenance costs fluctuated significantly. It directly weakened the sustained combat readiness of the armored forces. Secondly, the firepower level is obviously insufficient. The 105mm main gun has limited damage capability. In the face of the third-generation improved main battle tanks normally deployed by neighboring countries, it is almost impossible to form effective countermeasures. Finally, the information system lacks the combat capability. Sabra is not available. Standby formation networking coordination function. It is completely disconnected from the distributed combat model that the non-military is fully advancing, compared to Sabra, who has frequent problems. The Japanese Type 10 main battle tank has achieved comprehensive surpassing in the dimensions of mobility, firepower protection, informatization, and logistics support, and it is highly compatible with the geographical characteristics and tactical requirements of the Philippines. In terms of size, the Type 10 car is 9.485 meters long, 3.24 meters wide, and 2.30 meters high. The narrow body can easily traverse the narrow rural roads, town streets, and old bridges of the islands of Southeast Asia. It avoids the problem that the heavy main battle tank has exceeded the size limit and cannot be fully deployed. In terms of weight, it adopts a 3-stage modular protection configuration. The total weight of the strategic air transfer type is 40 tons. Normalized combat readiness type 44 tons. High intensity full with protective type 48 tons, it can seamlessly adapt to the vast majority of civilian bridges, ferry capacity, and simple roads in mountainous areas in the Philippines. There is no need to invest heavily in upgrading infrastructure. Power systems are one of the core strengths of practical things. It is equipped with Mitsubishi's self-developed 1200 horsepower V8 diesel power unit and stepless transmission system. Original maneuverable driving ability of 70 km per hour in both directions before and after, with oil and gas adjustable suspension device. It can flexibly cope with complex terrain such as rugged mountains, muddy beaches, and damaged rural road networks. It can also significantly improve the stability of firepower during off-road travel, significantly reduce the cost of full-cycle logistics support, balanced upgrades in firepower and protection, completely made up for the long-term shortcomings of the Flying Army. It is equipped with a 120mm large-caliber smoothbore main gun and a fully automatic intelligent loading machine developed by Japan Steel in real time. Single-shot interval compressed to 3.5 seconds. The whole car has 36 rounds of ammunition, compatible with Japanese-style long-pole armor-piercing shells, multi-purpose attack bombs, and full-spectrum NATO. The effective range of 20mm general-purpose ammunition against conventionally armored targets is 2,000 to 3,000 meters. The protection adopts a composite modular overlay architecture. The thickness of the equivalent anti-kinetic energy ammunition in the front focus area is 600 to 700 millimeters. The thickness of anti-shaped armor-piercing ammunition is 900 to 1,000 millimeters. At the same time, it comes standard with laser alarm, automatic explosive fire protection, and global free-proof system, and reserve the hard-to-kill active protection system to install the interface. The information level is equipped with a global vehicle networking charging system in real time. Rapid integration into the Philippine Army. The Digital Dark Defense Execution Network supports decentralized deployment, rapid insertion, and remote linkage of island-based distributed armor operations. In addition, Japan has gradually liberalized export restrictions on defense equipment and implemented mass production, mature technology, sufficient inventory. The stability of delivery and full-cycle logistics is much higher than that of the Israeli Sabra project. This time, the Philippines evaluated the implementation of tank nature. It is the inevitable result of the deep transformation of its army combat philosophy. In recent years, the Flying Army has completely abandoned the traditional centralized heavy armor formation, shift to the island-based distributed combat mode of cross-island rapid rescue, scatter key points, and mobile firepower surprise attacks. The performance shortcomings of the Sabra tank make it impossible to undertake this core mission. At the same time, the continuous upgrading of the armored forces in the surrounding areas also forced the Flying Army to accelerate the pace of updating its combat capabilities. If the Type 10 tank is successfully deployed, it will quickly fill up the combat capabilities of non-military armored forces to raise its voice over regional defense matters. It will also bring new variables to the defense landscape of Southeast Asia.